Hello, everybody. This is really exciting. First time we've done this, and the first time certainly I've gone live. Certainly with the summit. So I'm inspired completely by Adrian Reed, who yesterday, along with a colleague, ran the Serendipity Festival, which was a wonderful conference, completely online with lots of people around the world. I can see that there are 7 people joining in. So it's great to have you here. Hang on, I just need to we don't want an echo. I've got this on my phone as well over data so I can check comments coming in. So, what would you like me to do? Lots of things we could do. I can show you some slides, some excerpts from the book. We can just chat like this. We can have a look at some of the some of the possibilities for how you can sketch, things like that. So hopefully, there we are. I could be doing some sketching and showing you how I do that. But really, I'm going to be driven by you. I can see you've got a few people here. What are you interested in? Let me know in the comments. Just while we do that, though, I will bring up the sessions that we've had and just give a little bit of feedback. So what did you think about them as well? So we've got over there on the top left, we've got my session started off making workshops work, creative collaboration for our time. My key message there was all about planning, designing your sessions. Think about the purpose of your sessions, who's going to be there. Think about the process, design it all in, and then run your sessions with as little stress as you possibly can. Then we had Ruth Murray Webster talking about Disrupted or the Disruptor, and with her new book, it was all about the mix of innovation and risk. How you should look at these together and not separately. Then we had Jackie on Wednesday giving us a masterclass of how you should appear online, with lots of tips from TV, and of course also the really deep communications expertise that she has. And then on Thursday we had our academic, full-time academic of the session, which is Nikki Pantelli, bringing in learning from research. And I loved the fact that the things that she brought in for us were very, very, they really related to what I experience in practice. And then on Friday, today, we have Helen Winter. I just need to get out of the way. So, and there, it was all about using workshops to bring projects and programs back on track. If you haven't yet seen the session, Helen is somebody with masses of experience, and it's really, really good to, really good to hear from her reams of experience answering your questions. So, talking about answering questions, please do put something in the chat. I've got a question from Mirelle, who says, in fact, let's bring it up so everyone can see that. There we are. In fact, that doesn't really help. Let's put it on a white background. That still doesn't really help. Let's get rid of that. The question is, when you write your book, what was for yourself the most inspiring and insightful part? Let's just go back to a picture. Inspiring and insightful. A lot of writing the book was actually just pure slog. I actually got the contract in 2016, and then lots of things happened that got in the way. So I only really wrote the book last summer and autumn and winter. The most inspiring part. Yeah, I'd mapped it all out in 2016, but then when the pandemic hit, I was actually due to write it March, April, May. And then interest went completely nuts in this virtual leadership book, which is looking a bit funny because of the green screen. So I sort of postponed it. So I had the structure, I just needed to write it. And it was really interesting to think about the different elements. One of the things I learned quite a bit about neuroscience for writing the book. So I did a program with a neuroscientist, Dr. Linda Shaw, over the summer last year, and that was really helpful and just reinforces all those things about how our brains really work in ways that we can begin to understand, that we can actually apply directly to workshops. Maybe not so much about the book, but for me, my own thing that's made the most difference in running workshops really effectively, Morel, was it's this whole idea of dealing with stress. I used to be a really stressed out facilitator, you know, I go like this, ooh. And you can't think straight when you're in that sort of fight, flight, freeze mode and you're really stressed out. And so for me, one of the biggest things was being able to shift the spotlight away from me and onto the group, to focus on actually letting the group know, focusing on the group, not caring whether I look like a complete idiot. I'm just going to move over and find a picture from my set of slides that I think might be helpful with that, just so that you've got that. Right. Yeah, let's switch over now. So here we are. This is one of the pictures done for me by my brilliant illustrator, Rachel. But if we just have a go, if I just do some drawing now. Oh, okay. I do need to show you this. There we are. So there's a picture. If I do some drawing on this, just to explain what I mean, I'm just going to, you know, on PowerPoint you can use pens. I'm just going to change the pen color to blue, and I am using a Wacom graphics tablet. These are not very expensive, about 50, 60 pounds, euros, dollars. So let's just think about it. So often, especially new facilitators, tend to feel all the time when they're working with groups, and this can happen online as well, that actually they're in the spotlight and they need to be perfect. And that just intensifies the pressure and intensifies the stress, which is not good, as I'm sure you know. So what you can do, if it's a sort of mental mindset thing about moving that spotlight, switching it away from yourself. I'm going to change the color so I can actually just put some red. I don't use much red because it tends to highlight things and it can have bad connotations. But we don't want the spotlight coming on you. Too much pressure, too much stress, which is why I'm asking you for questions and input. Right, okay, so let me change that pen color back down the bottom left in PowerPoint. You don't have to have a graphics tablet to use this. Instead of having all the pressure on yourself, just focus on the people in the room or the people in the session. So it makes a massive difference. It really does free things up completely. You need, from neuroscience, you need all your executive function working, and it won't be working. Your brain won't be working the best it possibly can if you've got all the pressure on you and that's taking up all your brain. So focus on the participants. Just like at the moment, this is potentially terrifying, but I'm focusing on the participants and I can see some thoughts and questions coming in. So there we are. Right. Okay. I can see we've got a new question from Nikki Pantelli, our presenter yesterday. Nikki, you were very impressed with the platform that I was using with the conversations with the speakers. I would like to know why I use the platform, why I chose it. Okay. Well, let's nip over to the sketching. Right. I'm going to, let me just switch over. Yeah, I'm using the same platform now, actually. And if anyone would like to join in, do let me know, because I could bring you in. You'd need your camera and microphone, of course, and headphones too. So just to write down what I'm using something called Ecamm, which works on Macs only. Now, I did start off using OBS. And in fact, I don't know if you know, but I also I'm a member of a church and I help to do their live stream services. And I had this OBS thing, which is free and it works, but oh boy, was it stressful. So I'd be in the front row getting everything set up for live streaming services throughout the lockdowns. And I would be so stressed out doing this and battling with this software on a PC. I'm not used to PCs. That it would distract everybody. And I found this alternative called Ecamm, which is paid for. And it's just intuitive, it works, and you can do all the things that I've shown you today. You can record video as well, and you can also bring people into interviews. So if you have a Mac, you can use it. Otherwise, OBS, I think there's something else potentially called something like lots of M's, but I'm not sure. Okay, super. So you can see what Ecamm can do. And if anybody would like to join in, just let me know in the chat on this, and then I can get you a link probably via email if you also send me an email, just like we did for the participants. Right. Oh, lots of questions coming in. Terry is saying, how important is it to establish the key objectives and desired takeaways of workshop attendees in advance? Where this is not possible, what is second best? Terry has been attending but missed our day. Okay. I'm going to, just for a moment, I'm just going to go in, switch things over. I'm just going to move to a slide that will look at the things to cover and why it's so important. Okay. Right. I'm switching between lots of applications. So there we are. Now you can see here what I call my magic 6. This is something I'm very happy. In fact, I need to move out the way, don't I? So you can see the whole thing. These are the key things, the 6 things that make such a difference. If you can be really clear about these, ideally up front, and that's what I recommend in the book. As far as possible, up front is good. So the first one is here. We are here to... then today we will, our plan, who's doing what, how we work together, and what's next. Right, let me change back to blue. And yep. Right, so we're here to, this is the purpose. These are the 6 things that are really important to get clear up front as far as possible, but the purpose, definitely you should know what the point of your meeting is or workshop before you call it. And that leads to all sorts of other things, like actually who's going to be there, who should be there, who shouldn't. That should be quite high level. So if you need then to go into details, then that's where the today we will, that will cover the objectives. And I would say 4 to 5 objectives, 5 max, is quite enough for any session. This is really useful for in-person workshops, but it's crucial, it's absolutely critical when you are live virtually, because people need clarity more than ever. They can't just glance around and ask questions. The next thing to do is to have a time plan, you know, when you're starting, when you're finishing. So with this one, I said I start at 1:30, go through till 2 o'clock. Well, maybe 10 to, or maybe 2 o'clock. Who's doing what? Not just the purpose will help you know who should be there, but also think about who's doing what. Who's your facilitator, your timekeeper? A scribe is a good idea as well. Who's your action follow-up? Who's your follow-up person? That's a good one to have as well. So make sure all of these are defined. As much as you can do upfront is really useful, Terry, but if you can't do things upfront, you can sort this at the beginning. It is much easier to do at least the top ones upfront. And this who's doing what. How we work together, this is really helpful. It sets the... I don't like using the word ground rules because ground rules puts people off. Don't use the word ground rules with your workshop, but things like, you know, one conversation at a time. No, that's much more powerful than saying no interruptions, because it gets people to think about one conversation at a time. And how what you'll do if things go horribly wrong, what you'll do if conflict breaks out. Those things are really helpful. And this is good to do in the session, unless you're doing a short session of half an hour with 1,000 people. If you can get people to agree to these things and suggest them, they will be bought in and they're much more likely to follow them. And then, of course, what's next? The actions. You won't know the actions up front, Terry, but make sure that you have a space for them and that you have someone assigned to actually do the follow-up. It may not be you. If you're a project manager, maybe it will be you, but for other people, if you're a neutral facilitator, it wouldn't be you. So yeah, definitely do that. Right. I'm happy to answer any other questions or do some drawings or whatever you'd like. It's up to you. I can see we've got quite a few people there. Would anyone like to join me live? That would be fun. But I know it's scary. It's a little bit scary right now, but brilliant fun. Yeah. Okay. Just while people are thinking about what questions they might ask, I'm going to just run through a few things that are fun with drawing, because as you can see from the drawing on the screen, makes such a difference when you're virtual. So if you can get everyone to draw together, then that's absolutely brilliant. Okay. Right. Let's bring the sketch note back up. Right. So yeah, what would you like me to draw? But well, first of all, before we ask that, let's actually have a go at yeah. Let's make this a little bit thicker. Oh no, can't make it thicker. Right. Let's do some drawing. Do grab a pen and paper. Or a tablet screen or whatever. Let's just draw some squiggle people because these are brilliant fun, and the more you do of them, the better they are. Because typically when people draw on screen, they tend to draw people that look a bit like that. And that just doesn't look like a person. It's way too thin. Their shoulders are where their waist is. Their head's all wrong. And yet there is a fail-safe way to draw people that really works. Just on your pen, on your paper with your pen, just draw 3 spaced out squiggles like this. Very easy. And then at the top, put on heads. You don't need to draw a neck, just an oval a little bit above the head. Above the head? A little bit above the body. Typically, the body would be about twice the length of the head. And then you can add legs and arms. And there you are. Can you see how much more like a person this is? This is actually realistic. It's very easy. It's fail-safe because the squiggles are easy. There, and they can be doing all sorts of things. In fact, I'm going to draw one riding a bicycle. You don't need to draw all the details. Just key little bits will really help. And I'd added all the heads, so I couldn't do it earlier. But there you are. There's someone doing a handstand. I'm not a handstand person, but there you are. There's one. I don't know if that would work. Right. Do type into the chat if you've got anything you'd like me to draw or any questions about the summit, any suggestions for next year. That would be marvelous. Or anything about the book. Yeah. The other thing we could do is to have some networking time if you'd like to actually chat with individuals. And I do have a I do have a networking room we could go into. So I think what I'll do now is share that, and then you'll be able to join me if you'd like to just have some one-to-one conversations. So, oh, yep. Right, it's not meant to be showing you these things, but anyway, it is. Right, let's so it would be in Wonder. Would you like that? I just need to find the link. So I'm going to go back to that one. And if you'd like to join me and others, that's the link. I'm going to be closing this live stream down, but I will be moving over to that Wonder Room. And if you'd like to chat to me one-to-one, then you're very welcome to do that there. Thank you very much. I'll leave this open just so we've got that room visible, but I will go over to that room. I'm in the room now. If you've got a moment, do just click on the link and we can have real conversations. Thank you very much for joining me. And should I try this again? I mean, this is very last minute. We've got a few people on. Because the one thing about the summit is it's been very, very asynchronous for a long time. And that's been one of the strengths, because there's so many people in different time zones that it's really helpful for people to be able to do things at a time to suit them. So this sort of goes against that a little bit. But I wonder if you think that's a good idea or not. Right, if you want to join me in the Wonder Room, do click on that link now that I've shared in chat. Because I'm going to be closing this down. We've done 22 minutes. So I will be closing down. Do click on the Wonder link if you'd like to. I'm in there, and we can chat one-to-one rather than very publicly if you'd like to. Oh, got a comment. Jonathan Reed. A word of thanks this summit. The first he's attended. And he's just bought my book. So Jonathan Reed, my first book, that would be a book on facilitating risk management. Maybe you bought the virtual leadership book or the Making Workshops workbook. Yeah, thank you very much. It's lovely hearing from people that this has been helpful. Oh, Nikki's joined. So if anybody else would like to join the two of us, please do join in. I'm just going to show you what this Wonder Room looks like, just in case you're wondering. Wondering. Right, let's just move over. There we are. You can see me and Nikki in the Wonder Room. Right, do click on it if you'd like to, and we can chat. We can actually chat individually. I'm going to close this down now, so that link will disappear. So click on it now if you'd like to. Otherwise, all the best, and see you in September when we do Gordon's session. Okay, bye.